Nobody wins when the family feels.
Niggas be pranking down for these bitches. Scared the I had the 4 niggas. Ben be knocking that hoe in the seat. We gon' focus, they get in the border. He will been cheap, got short. I don't check price tags, I can afford it. We'll post in person.
Police say Avante Gregory confessed to the crime and said he and several others were also responsible for a break-in a day earlier at the Bass Pro on Macon.
Alleged gang members under arrest. They're accused in a string of car break-ins and shootings all across the city of Memphis.
3 dogs inside of the vehicle. These 2 dogs are back with their owners, and hopes are still high as they search for the 3rd pup. National Showcase in Missouri. With 8 hours left to go, the 2 stopped in Memphis Sunday night around 10 p.m. for a quick bite.
Last night we stopped at a Chipotle to eat and left our dogs in the car for 10 minutes with the doors locked. And next thing we know, we came out and the dogs are gone.
In Western Tennessee are in jail tonight, charged with using Glock switches. The federal charges come months after a Fox 13 investigation uncovered the use of these devices that turn a semi-automatic weapon into a seemingly automatic weapon.
A Glock switch, as you can see here, is a device no larger than the size of this quarter. Prosecutors say that you put this on the back of a gun and it allows that gun essentially to shoot like a machine gun. My source at the ATF says that they've taken 4 such devices off of streets in both Memphis and Shelby County since the beginning of this year, but today we learned about prosecutions.
Terrence Jones entered a guilty plea after having one during a shooting at Young Dolph's memorial days after the rapper's 2021 murder.
Fam, we took a couple of days off for Thanksgiving. I'm excited to get back on track. We got a lot to talk about. First and foremost, I hope you all was able to have a good Thanksgiving. Spend time with your family, get some good eats, and if you could, get some good rest. Now, I have quite a few videos I want to bring to you guys' attention. But in this video, we're going to Memphis, family. Over the weekend, Thanksgiving break, social media has been going into an uproar, especially people close to Memphis, in regards into an up-and-coming rapper and people from his neighborhood allegedly snitching. Now, when it comes to allegations like that, you want to make sure you try your best to do your due diligence. That's a blanket you don't want to put on nobody. So, of course, I did my research. Not to mention, the people who brung up these allegations is the people allegedly from the other side. But it wasn't no context on why would this person tell, what was the allegations, what was the charges, and where the suspects are at today. Well, I got a lot of people requesting me to do the research, family, and so I done so. Of course, I have a pacer account, monthly subscription, and I was able to obtain the indictment. And the original indictment was sealed, but they had a penalty, so I was able to purchase the indictment, including the penalty, after the penalty was assessed. And let's just put it like this. Everyone involved had told. And before I even did this video, if you was close to the situation, even if you didn't have the indictment, it was clear as day, which you'll later see. But as we present the facts in order, family, I know you guys are smart. You'll be able to put 2 and 2. Because after telling on each other, it seemed they let clues get away after getting caught doing other crimes or other unsolved mysteries. One connected to the late rapper, Young Dolph. So before we go over this one, remember, I won't give you no angle. I just give you the story. So with that being said, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. We're gonna jump right to it. Fam, this is an up-and-coming rapper called Code 3. He from Tate Street in Memphis. A neighborhood they reference to is South Vegas. Now, the most known artist outside of Memphis from that neighborhood is an artist called Set. He released a track called South Vegas Drive in his neighborhood 8 months ago with over 1.8 million views and counting. Now, other than being associates with the rapper we're about to discuss and being from their neighborhood, Set is not a part of these allegations in this indictment. Over the weekend, someone went to Facebook and had Set lyrics. They all Rex, they right hand man, alongside some paperwork, but tagged Set homie, CO3, and Kivo Money. Now, the paperwork didn't involve the 2 together. It was from 2 separate cases. Now, Kivo Money is also from South Vegas, but his allegations stem from when he was just 14 years old. So we'll later come to that on a later video if that's necessary. Now, people was really shocked at Code 3 because those allegations was less than 4 years ago, his alleged statement to authorities on a string of robberies that him and his crew was involved in. With Code 3 having tracks like No Bloopers, released 4 months ago, live performance in his neighborhood with the 1017 chain, Bread Gang chain, and AOB.
These niggas 6 times 2. Me and my nigga argue who gon' shoot to a green K8.
Code 3 is consistent and, as you can see, has a rising fan base. So as you can see, his fans was a little more than upset after seeing what he rap about and these recent allegations of his alleged statement to police Now, before we read the alleged statement to authorities from Code 3, let's point out a couple things from this paperwork. One, the top of it said the gun store, FFL, burglary, 420 to 421. Fam, as I give you these dates, keep them in your mind. The driver and the owner of the black Hyundai Sinatra, and that he purchased in the Pyramid Auto, Sergeant Gibbs received information from Detective Browning about a phone messaging group discussing the weapons that were stolen. When asked about the group, Carwell, who is Code 3, allegedly identified the people within the Texan group. Gibbs asked about how they met up to do the crimes, and they said there was no particular leader, but they did just meet up and people would discuss about committing certain crimes. Detectives took the break from the interview. Around 12:30, Sergeant Gibbs and Detective M. Walker interviewed Code 3 Carwell allegedly. Again, Carwell subsequently confessed or provided information on the following cases. Alongside the case number for each case, Pyramid Cars, Carwell stated he didn't know who did it, but said that Charterio Porter got his black Hyundai Sinatra from there. The next, alongside the case number, Family Dollar burglary on 4/17/2020. Code 3 stated he saw it on the news and that Lurie was in the Malibu. The next incident he allegedly confessed to happened on the same day, the gun store. He confessed to this incident and stated he was in the Hyundai Sonata with Charterio Porter and that Cam and Lurie were in the Malibu. He advised they did not take anything from his business. Now, the next incident confession allegedly happened on the same day at Academy Sports. Code 3 advised that Lurie was responsible for this and that he was not involved. The next incident happened after they left Academy Sports on the same day. Allegedly, Code 3 stated that Lurie and Cam went to the Arms Fair at the Academy Sports. He denied being involved in this incident. Now, the next confession, this incident allegedly happened 3 days later at the gun store. Code 3 stated that Lurie went back to the gun store on 4/20/20. He did not know who was with Lurie, but stated he went in the Malibu. The next incident happened 2 days later at a Bass Pro Shop. Code 3 admitted to being involved with the Bass Pro Shop incident and that he took a bag of Skittles. Code 3 stated he was with Cam and Dante Sharp. He advised that he did not know about the Colorville gun store incident. The next two incidents happened the next day at Warner's Firearm. Code 3 confessed to taking a rifle from 6655 Poplar. He was with Cam, DeMarcus Humphrey, and Centurio. The next day, he gave the gun to DeMarcus for $200. Caldwell advised that DeMarcus sold the firearm to an unknown male. The next day, Enterprise Rental Cars. He said he didn't know too much about this incident, but he advised he was there. However, he didn't take anything. He's shown a photo of the location to confirm. Now, an indictment for these string of robberies came down 2 years later. But I want to go back to the day of these events because people was arrested and let go the same day as well. People who was mentioned in this alleged confession. So Code 3 had mentioned, allegedly, DeMarcus Humphrey. Stay with me, family. On the last week of April of 2020, Memphis police had arrested several people after U-Haul trucks and firearms were stolen from multiple local businesses. According to an affidavit, one of the suspects was DeMarcus Humphrey. He told authorities he was part of the group of people who planned to break into the businesses. Humphrey said the group planned to break into gun stores in order to steal firearms, according to the affidavit. Also in the affidavit was the same addresses of the businesses that was broken into that was also mentioned by Code 3 months going on a year later to investigators. It mentioned DeMarcus had stated that the group of people went in cars and U-Hauls and went to Warner's Gunsmith, 6655 Poplar Ave in Germantown, Bass Pro Shop, 6140 Macon Road in Memphis, Scooter Plus, Arms Fair, City Gear, and other businesses in order to steal firearms. Now, as we continue, fam, I want to make sure we're clear. DeMarcus was only 18 years old when he was first arrested for those alleged crimes. He was still the oldest out of all the teenagers who was arrested. As we mentioned, according to the affidavit, he told everything that day, and he was also released on a no bond that same day. How do we know that? Because it was mentioned in another news clip after he got in more trouble 18 months later. Now 22 years old, fast forward to February of 2022, DeMarcus Humphreys would be arrested again. He would lead 2 other teenagers, according to authorities. All 3 are part of AOB in the disappearance of Oakley, an award-winning dog by the owner, Megan McCoy. Humphreys was on another $30,000 bond. But hold fast on him. He definitely gonna come back in this video. Another teenager ended up getting arrested after he was one of many teenagers who ramshacked a dealership in Memphis. He was the one that crashed and got caught. His name is Avante Grant. After police made the connection, he too admitted right away he was involved, and also who was involved in the string of robberies when it came to those firearms earlier in 2020.
This gun store in Germantown is closed because of the coronavirus. Police say it's one of two businesses a group of thieves targeted last week in search of guns.
There was just glass all over the walkway.
This woman, an employee at one of the few businesses still open at the Carrefour shopping center, knew someone had broken into this gun store but had no idea what was taken. Police say the burglars shattered the front door to get inside and left with $17,000 worth of guns, rifles, and a shotgun. Police say Avante Gregory confessed to the crime and said he and several others were also responsible for a break-in a day earlier at the Bass Pro on Macon. The only thing taken were some firearm optics from a display case, but police say Gregory told them they were after every last one of the firearms in both of the stores. A scary thought to this woman.
Yeah, getting on the street, those kids. It's a shame.
Police say last month Gregory and a juvenile were arrested in Memphis after they bailed out of a car stolen from this dealership in West Memphis. Several vehicles were taken, including one driven right through the showroom doors. Gregory was charged with evading arrest and theft, but released without bond. As for the stores hit in the Memphis area, police say the thieves could have gotten away with a lot more guns, but were physically stopped by their security systems. In Germantown, Melissa Moon, WREG.
So you fast forward to 2022. Everybody who get caught is telling on everybody, including themselves. And 2 years later, June 9th, 2022, 3 people get charged for those string of robberies back in 2020. All 3 who confessed the day they was arrested. DeMarcus Humphrey, Avante Gregory, and Fonte Moore. And then fast forward a year after that, November of 2023, another member of Code 3 alleged statement to authorities has been leaked. But if that's true, it's not only him who gave a statement about all the incidents, it's everybody who was involved and got caught, told on not only they self, but everybody else who they was hanging with even after that incident and got in trouble again. You didn't need the indictment or the recent allegations of the Memphis rising rapper Code 3 statement to authorities to see members of his clique had told from the news clips that was released the day it happened. But now we got that out the way. Family, I want to mention something that stood out while doing my research. Now in 2021, unfortunately, we lost Young Dolph. Now coming from the inner city and having life experiences, I'm not quite sure having a Bass Pro Shop hat on while you doing a quote-unquote drill is you trying not to stand out. And after seeing a connection with one of the weapons that was recovered from someone that was involved in a shooting at Young Dolph Memorial Site was one of the firearms that was stolen, they had a switch on it. And the dude who took Young Dolph's life had on the Bass Pro Shop hat. I don't know if that was a statement or one of those, if you know, you know. That's them or that's him, but I did wanted to point that out to you guys before you check out this new clip.
In Western Tennessee are in jail tonight, charged with using Glock switches. The federal charges come months after a Fox 13 investigation uncovered the use of these devices that turn a semi-automatic weapon into a seemingly automatic weapon. Fox 13's Dakari Turner is live at East Memphis tonight. You know, Dakari, explain what's going on here because you began this investigation months ago, as I said.
Yeah, believe it or not, a Glock switch, as you can see here, is a device no larger than the size of this quarter. Prosecutors say that you put this on the back of a gun and it allows that gun essentially to shoot like a machine gun. My source at the ATF says that they've taken 4 such devices off of streets in both Memphis and Shelby County since the beginning of this year. But today we learned about prosecutions.
A new public service announcement from Western Tennessee's U.S. Attorney on Glock switches. Monday, he was surrounded by federal and local law enforcement to announce 26 people either federally charged or sentenced since last fall for possessing one, nearly killing Italy Oakley during a road rage incident. Terrence Jones entered a guilty plea after having one during a shooting at Young Dolph's memorial days after the rapper's 2021 murder. Jones was sentenced to more than 7 years in prison.
Our law enforcement partners are finding more and more machine gun conversion devices on our streets.
Memphis police count 6,000 stolen guns recovered since 2020, and many, says Chief C.J. Davis, had switches. They're often bought online or made with 3D printers.
The only intent for this type of firearm is to kill We haven't seen things like this since the 1930s.
Anyone with a machine gun conversion device will face federal consequences.
And those federal consequences include anyone possessing a Glock switch will be treated as if they have a machine gun. A federal minimum sentence on that is 10 years in federal bars. Now, our story isn't done here. Coming up at 6, we're going to tell you what the U.S. attorney says his plans are for the future.
So now we got all that out the way. Fam, it's important to know. If somebody told, you got to see it in black and white. And that's hard because at times you got to make sure that's the truth when it comes to majority of statements that's supposed to be sealed is actually sealed, right? Did this crew tell? Yes. In fact, each and every last one of them who was involved that was caught. But the strange thing is this, the people who told on record that was released to the public is the people who was arrested and indicted for those alleged crimes 2 years later, even though they was arrested and let out on no bond almost immediately after they was arrested the first time. Hopefully this video cleared up the allegations of the rising Memphis rapper, Code 3. Fam, let me know how you guys feel about this one in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Until then, I'll catch you guys on the next one.